It's now 5 o'clock. Can I just, again referring to the opening statement, or referring to something that was said before, the Nauru papers that you referred to, Mr. Pizzulo, you mentioned, I think, that they appeared on the Save the Children website. Is that correct?
No, I don't believe I said that. The documents, as the Assistant Commissioner has indicated several times today, were incident reports filed by Save the Children employees that, through disclosure by way of the Guardian, found themselves, if you like, as a trove or a cache, as I understand it, deposited on the Guardian website. I think that's right. That's correct, Secretary. Assistant Commissioner? Yeah, so it's the Guardian website that had the publication of those documents.
Do you know if they're still there?
As we speak, I don't know. I assume
well, I think
they are.
Your colleague was indicating they still are.
Senator, they are still posted on the website.
Have Save the Children, to your knowledge, done anything about that? Are they happy for them to remain on the website of a newspaper?
Senator, I've had no conversation with Save the Children around those posts, so it would really be a question for them, sir.
Are you aware if they are published anywhere else? I mean, where I'm getting to on this is clearly, if you read the news reports on these 2,000 odd things, you'd think, oh, this is awful, you know, isn't Australia horrible? But, you know, the truth, which we've heard today, is that most of these things were trifling at best, and the serious ones have been properly addressed by the appropriate authorities, which is not Australian authorities. But I'm just wondering if there is some response anywhere that would tell the truth about these 2,000 odd incidents, so-called, so just to put the record straight.
Well, to answer your question directly, Chair, and I'll be assisted in this by the head of my executive division, we certainly provided a factual response, as I recall it, at the time, essentially saying this has all just come out. It needs to be investigated, analysed. We set up a task force that I referred to earlier. Number of officers, as I mentioned in earlier evidence, worked laboriously through the documents, including through weekends and the like. And that was that was overseen by the Assistant Commissioner. That report was provided to Commissioner Quadrig and I at some point in recent weeks, and we have today provided some evidence to this committee that, if you like, breaks down in response to your questions, plural questions, that breaks down categories, types, thresholds and the like. And as I indicated in both my opening statement and in some oral evidence earlier, we intend to continue that process, and I guess I put a marker in the sand, if you don't mind me doing so, Chair, that in our submission to the Senate inquiry that's on the specific matter of the so-called Nauru incidents, we intend in our written submission that we will absolutely get in, given that I'm appearing before the same committee, we'll get in by your deadline to go through in written form the results of the Assistant Commissioner's analysis.
The inquiry.
Sorry, I'm referring to a future event there, but I thought for the sake of completeness I should.
Yeah, but not specifically. I'm a member of that committee. When you said that the committee's inquiring into the Nauru papers, I must say I haven't taken a great deal of notice in this inquiry, because it seems to me the same as 4 or 5 others we've already had. But is it, I'm just asking the Secretary, is it specifically in the terms of reference of this other committee that, I should be telling you rather than asking you, but is it specifically related to the so-called Nauru papers?
Well, Chair, we've read into both the notice of motion, the debate that you had, and the terms of reference, most importantly, we've read into it the fact that we are going to we will need, in order to properly discharge our duties and obligations, to traverse these matters. Yep. In fact, I think the heading of the inquiry's proceedings relate somewhat to the so-called Nauru files.
I see that. The Secretary has referred it to me, and as I say, I hadn't taken much interest in it, having done it all before.